Okay. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Welcome, everybody. And everybody watching on TV. I'm going to read an opening statement to open the meeting. This commission is composed of Peoria citizens who have been appointed by the City Council to serve on the commission as civic responsibility without compensation. Our duty is to study and review planning and zoning issues within the City of Peoria. The commission hears zoning cases, holds public hearings, or may conduct a study session on a topic. Decisions made by the commission are forwarded as written recommendations to the City Council, who take final action. All hearings are conducted in accordance with rules for procedures and Robert's Rules of Order. Each case will be called in the order in which it appears on the agenda unless otherwise announced during the meeting. In the interest of maintaining a fair and efficient hearing, the commission adheres to the following steps. Chair will call the case. City staff will provide a brief report and recommendation. The applicant then is invited to give a presentation. Then any member of the public may provide testimony. Testimony is limited to 3 minutes. When we call your name, please come up to the podium and provide your name and address. After the testimony has been taken, we will invite the applicant back up to provide any rebuttal or final statements. Finally, we will have commission discussion and decision. Anyone wishing to speak must complete a speaker's request form and hand it to the assistant on my left, down at the end of the dais. Please be as brief as possible and do not repeat statements already made by others. Any member of the public may appeal to the City Council the decision of the Commission regarding a conditional use permit. The appeal must be submitted in writing to the Planning and Community Development Department within 15 calendar days of the date of the Commission's decision. All Commission recommendations on public hearing items, including the general plan amendments, rezones, zoning code amendments, and special plans, move forward to a regular City Council meeting. The City Council will then act upon recommendation of the Commission. City Council may concur with the decision, modify it, overturn it, or remand it back to the Commission for further consideration. We welcome citizens' comments, and as fellow citizens of Peoria, we thank you in advance for your participation. All right. So we will move forward with the regular agenda. First off, we will have roll call. Let's see, who's here today? Vice Chairman Jeff Nelson.
Present.
Secretary Jay Lusky.
Present.
Member Brian Patterson.
Present.
Member Linda Grice.
Present.
Member Clay Alsop.
Present.
Member Joanna Condi, not here tonight. And alternate member John Albright.
Present.
All right, very good. This is a final call to submit speaker request forms. If you would, fill out a form and turn it in to the assistant down at the end of the dais. First up tonight is our consent agenda. On the consent agenda, we have 2 items. The first item is discussion and possible action to approve the minutes of the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting held on December 7th of 2017. And then we have item 2C, that is CU 17-16, Ambassador Fine Cigars. It's a request for a conditional use permit to allow the use of a use classified as a tavern, bar, or lounge in the zoning ordinance, Series 7 liquor license, beer, wine bar, in conjunction with a proposed cigar shop. The shop will be located within an existing suite of a multi-tenant commercial building. The site is located south of the southwest corner of 75th Avenue and Bell Road. The address of the site is 7545 West Bell Road, number 101 in Peoria, Arizona. Those are the only 2 items on the consent agenda. Do we have a motion on the consent agenda? Commissioner Lusky.
Yes, I'd make a motion that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Okay, we have a motion to accept the consent agenda. Do we have a second?
I second the motion.
All right, seconded by Commissioner Nelson. Would you all please vote on the consent agenda? Okay, yeah, passes unanimously. Very good. So on our regular agenda, we have unfinished business 3RZ 16-0013 Cowtown rezoning. As I understand, there is a request for a continuance to February 1st of 2018. Staff, do you have a report on that?
Chairman, yes, sir. One moment here. Thank you, Chairman. Members of the commission, my name is Lori Deaver. Basically, this case before you, Cowtown Z 16-0013, was originally heard on November 2nd in front of the board. At that point in time, the morning of that meeting, we received a letter of opposition from the State Land Department, and so we asked for a continuance to this meeting of January 4th. Subsequent to that meeting, Arizona's State Land Department and the applicant have met to discuss the issues within the letter. They are working on an agreement regarding those letters of those items of concern, and we expect the agreement to be forthcoming, given the holiday situation and whatever we believe additional time is needed before we move this case forward. So we are asking for a continuance to February 1st, 2018, so that we have the agreement in, possibly have the agreement in place before we present it to commission. Additionally, I would like to mention, we do have several commissioners that were not at the meeting when we provided a briefing to commission. So on January 18th, we are also looking to do a study session to provide discussion material and answer any questions that the new commissioners may have on this case, given the complexities of it. So with that, January 18th, we will be looking to do a study session with commission, but tonight we are asking that we continue this case to February 1st, 2018.
Okay, do we have any questions or comments from the commission on this continuance? Seeing none, do we have a motion to continue item 3R Z16-0013 to February 1st, 2018?
Chairman, I recommend that we continue, or I would move that we continue case Z16-0013 to the February 1st, 2018 P&Z Commission hearing.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, seconded by Commissioner Alsop. Anything further under discussion? Okay, please vote. Okay, we are unanimous, and we will be moving this case to a hearing on February 1st of 2018. All right, thank you. Next up on the agenda, we have election of officers. Discussion of possible action to elect officers for the Planning and Zoning Commission for 2018. I think we start with, we have 3 officers that we typically vote for. Well, 3 officer positions that need to be voted for. That would be a chair, a vice chair, and a secretary. Currently, we are the 3 officers that are in place currently. Myself, Jeff Nelson, and Jay Otluski have been at it for a year. Traditionally, it's been a 2-year term for each office. That doesn't necessarily mean it has to be that way. That being said, I will start with the chair nomination. If anybody would like to nominate a chairperson for the year of 2018, we'll take nominations. Proper? I see you poke your head up, so I didn't know if that was Oh, I'm sorry. Commissioner Alsop.
Sorry. Are we ready to make a motion on that?
I think it's a nomination needs to be made, and then the person being nominated needs to accept the nomination, and then any further nominations would be, it would be under a vote.
Do we do them each individually, or can we do them all?
Mr. Chair, members of the commission, I believe you take nomination, and then you can act on a motion for that nomination. I believe is the procedure. Is that correct?
Yeah, just usually do one at a time.
Okay.
Just for the record. Okay. I'll take nominations for chairperson.
Chairman, I move that we nominate Sean Hutchinson as chair.
Second.
Okay, I will accept the nomination. Are there any other nominations for chair? Any other nominations for chair? And any other nominations for chair? Okay, seeing none. We will, I guess we will vote on, should we take a vote on each of the, okay, well, we will vote on the one nominee for chair. I see there's a dissenting vote. The motion passes. Thank you very much, appreciate it. Okay, the next office will be up for is vice chairman, currently being held by Commissioner Jeff Nelson. So we will take any nominations for the vice chairman position. Anybody?
Commissioner, Chairman, I nominate Jeff Nelson as vice chair.
Okay, we have a motion for Jeff Nelson to be nominated.
I accept the nomination.
Okay, and Jeff accepts the nomination, and a second on the nomination? Do we have a second? Okay, we have a second, in case we needed it. Are there any other nominations for vice chairman? Any other nominations for vice chairman? Any other nominations for vice chairman? Okay, seeing none, let's go ahead and vote on the vice chairman position. That one passed unanimously. Great, thank you. And finally, we have the position of secretary, the office of secretary, currently being held by Commissioner Jay Otluski. We will take nominations now for that position.
Chairman, I'd like to nominate Jay Otluski for secretary.
Okay, we have a nomination for Jay Otluski for secretary. Do you accept the nomination?
I accept that.
Okay, do we have a second on that?
Second.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded, and the nomination's been accepted. Are there any other nominations for secretary? Any other nominations for secretary? Any other nominations? Okay, let's go ahead and vote on Commissioner Otluski for secretary. And that passes unanimously. Okay, very good. Thank you all. It has been a pleasure serving as the chair, and I do appreciate it. And I refuse to watch any more of these on TV. It's very disturbing, actually. Okay, next up on the agenda is call to the public on non-agenda items. Seeing no members of the public in the audience, we will move on to updates from staff.
Mr. Chair, members of the commission, I hope everyone had a restful holiday and a happy new year. We have a big year in front of us. Certainly our development caseload we've seen an uptick in the last year, so we'll have a lot of activity in front of the commission over the next year. Also, one of the things you'll see on the next agenda, Lori mentioned the study session for Cowtown, but we also have the sign code coming back to the commission for a study session. So we'll talk to you about some of the changes that have been implemented with the sign code as a result of the last study session with the commission, and feedback from stakeholders and feedback from the city council. So that'll be on the next agenda. And the last thing to mention too is on the screen we have the next meeting. So of course the January 18th meeting, and then we also have a meeting for February 1st. And that's all I have tonight.
Okay.
Chairman, can I ask a question of Chris?
Sure.
Chris, do you have an update on we had brought before us, it's probably been a few months now, the mobile vendor ordinance we had taken a look at, and we had continued that to do more research. Do you have an update on when that might be coming back to us?
Chair Hutchinson, members of the commission, I don't have a timetable yet as to when that'll come back. We certainly received a lot of feedback that evening from the commission. So internally right now we're still looking at that, but what I'll try to do is get a better sense of the timing on that and bring it back.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions from, or statements from the commission? How about Planning and Zoning Commissioner updates or reports of current events? Anybody need to report on a current event? Well, seeing none, I'd like to welcome all the new members to the commission. I know Commissioner Condi is not with us tonight, but I'm sure she'll be back at our next meeting. So I believe that is all that we have on the agenda tonight. So with that, I'll call this meeting adjourned.
There you go. Nice job. Very efficient.